Welcome back to week 3, and in video 2 we are going to talk about the hydrologic cycle and how it works in a little bit more detail. So the hydrologic cycle is the cycling of water through the Earth's atmosphere through the process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff. The cycle is driven by energy from the sun, which we just learned about last week, and that water is heated from that energy from the sun, gets evaporated off the surface, enters the atmosphere, cools when it's in the atmosphere at some point, condenses, and then falls back as preset. So here we can see the water cycle in more detail. We've got water over here, the water cycle showing what happens over the ocean and then over the land. Now, the water cycle behaves a little bit differently over the water versus the land because if you're in the open ocean, you have just ocean surface to evaporate water from. If you're on land, however, the water that's evaporated off the surface is crucial to the life that lives there. So in deserts, there's very little water present, so any water that gets evaporated off the surface, those plants don't get that water. And we can see evaporation coming off of lakes, rivers, transpiration off of trees. So when we look on the land surface here, if we have, when we talk clouds next week, we're going to talk about how that water vapor in the atmosphere is influenced by surface topography moving up and over certain objects. So say if we have some clouds or just air that has water evaporated in it, so it has lots of water vapor in it, and it's moving in towards the land, and it's forced up and over these mountains. As that air is forced up, it's being forced to cool, and as it cools, we see condensation occurring, and we see clouds forming and even precipitation happening. So as that cooling is occurring, we are actually cooling that that air parcel over time. So when we evaporate water to get into the atmosphere, it's requiring energy, and then when we condense it, we are releasing that energy. So if we're over the land surface, if you remember from lab last week, if we have sand or rock, or pavement, we have that surface absorbing more heat energy from the sun during the day, heating up faster, so we have more energy available, so we can evaporate more water because we have more energy there. So when it's really hot, high temperatures, we can have more of that evaporation happening because of the available energy that's present. So that's kind of the hydrologic cycle. We've got the evaporation off the surface from water. We have it condensing in the atmosphere. It can condense to form clouds first. We don't have to have it condensed to form precipitation right away. Precipitation happens when there's enough water that's condensed in that cloud where gravity is going to pull that water droplet out of the sky. So we have that condensation happening. We have precipitation eventually in the form of snow, rain, hail, so on and so forth, dew, frost. All of these things can pull that moisture out of the air. And then we can also have deposition occurring when you're up in cold environments, so we can have that water vapor going straight to the solid form. We can also have sublimation occurring over glaciers, another form of taking water or ice from the surface and putting it into the atmosphere as well. Surface flow, so as all that precipitation or the ice melts, it's going to form rivers and flow out into the ocean. So all this water is just cycling back and forth and back and forth. So hopefully you have a better understanding of the hydrologic cycle. We will come back and get into humidity and dew point.